And please stand.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone to our August Parks Board meeting. I will first read the appeal of decisions pursuant to the provisions of 2.68030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws. Please take notice that decisions of the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under a common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after the entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or other entity considering an appeal should consult an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. We'll move to the consideration of the minutes from the last meeting. Are there any changes to the minutes? Not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second. All those in favor? I'm sorry, is there any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are approved. Any Metro Council referrals today? All right. We'll move on to our new public comment period. I will ask Courtney, Metro Legal, to clarify for us, this is new to all of us, how this works and how we should proceed.
The public comment period is a period for the public to be able to, if they signed up beforehand on the sign-up sheet, provide comment to the board. You're given 2 minutes to provide comment, and it's a total of 20 minutes. If you're providing comment, it has to be germane to the agenda, so it has to be about an item that's on our agenda, and the board is not to respond to the public. It's just for the public to be able to say their piece on an agenda item.
Okay, so it has to be listed as an agenda item for someone to speak.
That's correct.
All right, so before they speak, they should tell us what the topic is, all right? So we have one today, Dee Dee Bird. I know.
Because I should have spoken at the advisory committee.
So I don't think, is this Brookmead, I'm sure, right?
Well, no, actually it's not.
Wait, what's the topic?
The topic is a public advisory committee that we were denied.
Okay, so that, Courtney, I don't think that's on the agenda.
That's not on this board's agenda.
Okay, what is on the agenda today?
It's posted. So
yeah, I read it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't have it in front of me, and I'm trying to figure out. I do have it in front of me, and I have old business and new business. So I guess maybe I might fall under the appeal of decisions, because we received a letter from the park board, but not by a specific person, that outlined what was going to happen at Brookmead. And we would like to complain about the fact that we were not included.
Okay, let's hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Let's make sure we stay within the...
Sure, that's sure.
I have to defer to Courtney here.
We can let her speak.
Okay.
Okay. So...
Dee Dee, I'm sorry,
Okay.
You have 2 minutes.
Yes. Thank you. I'm Dee Dee Bird. Reclaim Brookmead Park has dissolved, so we are no longer a 501c. So we are representing our districts and our community now. And the reason that we're here is we went to the previous advisory committee meeting where you are forming a relationship with the Tennessee Golf Foundation. And we wanted to complain about the fact that Reclaim Brookmead Park, even though we have dissolved, asked for that type of relationship for over a year, and we never received it. So we go through public records, and we have asked for the Gresham-Smith evaluation of Brookmead, which we received in May, but we have not received the final report from them. And also, there's going to be a plan that will include the following items, which you received from us last night, but not limited to. There's been no community input as to what we would like to see at our community park that was overtaken, neglected, and abandoned, and it was overtaken by a homeless camp. So we would appreciate some input from you guys as to how, as a community, 4 different districts, all surround Brookmead. We have input from 4 different districts. So as the board, we would like for you to tell us how we as a community are supposed to have our input as to what we want to see happen at Brookmead.
Okay.
That's right.
You
You
want
don't
to
have to
respond
respond. So I guess my question to you is, how do we proceed from here? Because you're due on September the 1st, your request for procurement, correct?
Ms. Bird, what I will say is that in all of the information that we have shared when Reclaim Brookmead was a group that we have shared, and probably the most recent information aside from the document the update that you received yesterday.
Yes.
We did acknowledge that this is not development of a new park. We are restoring the park back to its original state. There was
Which was a failure.
That was an email address there for you all to submit your ideas if you had any, and we requested
Which
that
we
if
did.
you had any ideas, and we're moving forward with the plan. We don't have the final plan just yet. I really want to convey, because it seems like the tone has been set, and there is a narrative, unfortunately, that Metro Parks, the Parks Board, or whomever is not being transparent about Brookmead Park. We are handling this at this point now like it is a capital project. And so there is often when we have high dollar improvements in capital projects, there's often not any substantive progress on a month-to-month basis. But when there are developments, we'll certainly report that. We have wanted to be, partners with the Reclaim Brookmead group that is not
That's correct.
in effect now. But it seems the Reclaim Brookmead group has been adversarial.
That is not true.
And that is my
Point of
opinion.
order.
That's right.
That is
That's not true.
Excuse me, Chair Anderson. I'm over here. Sorry. My apologies for interrupting you all, but I do want to make sure that as we set the tone and figure out what it looks like to have public participation, that we understand that we're hearing from the community, but we don't necessarily have to respond back
Right.
right now. I do think
correct.
that this is a healthy debate for sure,
Yeah.
but I think I would hesitate to allow this to continue if you're open to it.
I
So
think,
Okay.
please, again, I know you said that you sent us something last night. I think we can certainly review
Yes.
that and then either add it to a future committee meeting for conversation, if as a board we can develop have a conversation.
I
think
do think we need
more
to
to
add
this.
it to a community meeting, have clarification based on what you're saying too. So why don't we do that? Because I think we should, as if there's a concern out there, we should address it.
Add it to a committee, you said committee meeting?
Let's just do the next committee meeting, and if we needed to bring the board after that, we will.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dee Dee. All right, we'll move to old business 072308, Friends of Shelby Park and Bottoms, a request acceptance of an in-kind grant of approximately $64,500 for improvements to Shelby Park and Bottoms. This grant requires no match or other obligation of Metro Parks. These projects will be paid for directly by Friends of Shelby Park. The proposed improvement projects will include installation of a bike fix-it station, $5,000, installation of new swings with toddler swings, $15,000, installation of 13 new benches in Shelby Park and Bottoms, $15,000, installation of new tennis nets and screens, $6,000, installation of new disc golf course sign and tee box, $2,500, culvert improvements near multi-use field, $1,000, batting cage improvements at East Nashville Athletic Complex, $5,000, installation of 3 new trailhead sign structures, $15,000. What is the parks?
Staff recommends approval.
Staff recommends approval. Any questions or entertain a motion to accept?
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Second item on old business, It will be deferred. So that takes care of that. We will move to the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the entire consent agenda, or are there any changes?
Thank you. I have one amendment, one addition to the consent agenda. Save My Fairgrounds group requests to hold a rally tomorrow at Public Square, August 1st, from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the request is for amplification. Add that to the consent agenda.
Do we need a motion to do that, or is it, we just add it? Courtney?
When you approve it, you would need to approve it with the addition.
Okay.
Motion to approve with the addition.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda with the addition? And all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The amended consent agenda is approved. Moving to new business, 082302, staff request approval for submission and ultimate acceptance of renewal application for the Children and Adult Care Food Program for fiscal year 2024. This program provides nutritious meals and snacks for children attending after-school programs at 11 community centers.
Staff recommends approval.
Is there any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Remind me how many attendees we have at the after-school program. I know it was mentioned earlier, and I meant to ask.
Steve?
Just FYI. Yep. Yeah,
2,500.
20 annually. I mean,
Yes, sir.
on a typical. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to 82303, board to review the text for the private Confederate monument in Centennial Park.
So you have in your packets the text for the private Confederate monument that's in Centennial Park. As you may recall, the waiver that you requested from the Tennessee Historical Commission to remove the monument was denied. And this body had, a couple of years ago, voted to add contextual signage there. There is a draft panel in your packet that has been reviewed by the Metro Historical Commission, and they have deemed it accurate and support that. And this is just for your review. We will likely proceed with that language
So
and with
this is
that
not
panel.
going to come to the, does not
It
get
doesn't.
deferred?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just for review.
We don't vote on it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Can we have, does anyone have any changes to it or suggest any changes, or everybody go with just proceeding with it without any further discussion? So we don't need to vote on this?
You do not.
Okay. All right, we'll proceed with that. Thank you. 082304, overview of the annual monitoring facility usage report for ES Rose Park Sports Complex.
John Holmes.
John.
This is real easy. I'm going to introduce Wayne Evans, who prepared this report.
Thank you. You've got a copy of the report and everything. I'll try to be brief and just kind of hit the highlights to be respectful of everybody's time. If you look at page 3, it talks about the purpose. In 2007, we entered into the agreement with Belmont University to construct the athletic fields at ES Rose Park. The terms of the agreement are there below of what's to be included in the annual report. If you go to page 4, this is usually one of the pages that people are most interested in, and to see how it's used in between us and the community and Belmont is, if you look at the usage numbers, Belmont's got the baseball field. They use it about 15% of the time, softball 12, soccer about 20%, and track 12. And then the usage below that says community, that's actually Metro Parks rentals. That's what we rent it from our office for community teams to use. And we use it similar numbers to Belmont. And one thing that works out really good with this agreement is the times that they use the park and the times that our users want to use it are opposite of each other. Belmont uses it typically in the mornings, and we do a lot of the rentals at night, so we book it a whole lot in the evenings. And then if you look at the bottom line down there, that's the time that the fields sit where they're empty, and people from the community can come out and still kick a ball around or use it for whatever use they want. So it's not like it's a lot of people feel like that's Belmont's field, but it's definitely Metro Park's field and the community's fields. And they use it for what they need, and we're grateful to have them as partners, but we get a lot of use out of it too, and so does the community. If you go to page 6, it gives a little overview of some of the expenses that Belmont covers and their end of the deal. And this year you can see they spent over $1 million on the field. That's usually it's around 150 in that range to 200, but this year it was a little higher because they did returf the soccer fields this year. So they got brand new turf over there, so that raised the costs up. And that'll hit again. It'll go back to probably a similar number next year, around the 150 to 200, and then it'll increase again probably 2 years out when they do the baseball field. If you look at page 7, it shows the lease payments, which is one of the great things with this contract from our end, is that every year, this year it started at $50,000 and goes up 3% each year. This year it was $71,288 is what Belmont paid. And 20% of that, over $14,000 went to the schools, the PTOs of Carter Lawrence and Rose Park. And then $57,000 went to Metro Parks, which is used for programming and actually for a position and a lot of things for Metro Parks at the Easley Community Center. And then page 8 tells how the funds were used at the schools. They did a lot of special projects they couldn't do otherwise. They did they paid for field days, had awards, had family events. They did a lot of things that the elementary school they couldn't usually do. And same thing with Rose Park Middle. They did some pretty cool programs where they used that investment to give awards to. They have like a awards program this year for like a parent store where they could come and shop for things for their kids. And it was based on the attendance. The better the attendance was for the kid, the more money the parent got in the community store. So I thought they did some really cool things with the funds that they were given. If you go to page 9, this is where the money was, how the funds were used at Easley Community Center this year. The top right, you see the budget, the 58,741. That's counting what's carried over from last year. The remaining balance is will be carried forward in next year. It's not like that money goes away or is not used. They will definitely put that to good use. I guarantee you. Marlo will use it for good things for her kids over at the community center at Easley. And it's got the line item that Stevan and Darlene gave us. They come up with the numbers of how all the funds were used there and laid that out for everybody. A lot of people are concerned about how the partnership works as far as the utilities. As you can see on page 10, we pay some of the utilities more in the summertime when we're using it, when we have more baseball tournaments and Belmont's gone. We cover 100% of the utilities for those 2 months, but it's shared in the months when we're both using it equally. And then you can see Belmont takes on the brunt of it when they're in school and their athletic teams are playing. Parking and traffic was pretty good there this year. I think there wasn't much issue with parking with the public. There was a little bit, Ms. Marlowe still battles every once in a while when they have a big tournament over there. Sometimes the parking around the center gets a little cluttered. Another thing I think that's really interesting with this is the Belmont created the E.S. Rose Scholarship in memory of Reverend E.S. Rose. And this year there were 8 students who attended Belmont University receive almost $300,000 in scholarships. And they give priority to students that live in the closest proximity to that Edge Hill community. So we think that's really a good thing. And Ms. Joyce told us over there that not only do these people get these scholarships, but they do everything they can to help get these kids and make sure they're successful. They include them in lots of groups within the school. They have tutoring. They have a lot of things. So it's really a great program that they have. And that's all the end of the report. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer those. But
Well, I can say for many years since we entered in this agreement, Belmont's been an amazing partner through this. It's a great example on how to do something like this. That report proves that, I think. So okay. Great report, Wayne.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any questions for Wayne, anybody? Thank you. All right. We are now moving to special presentations. Ms. Harriet Brooks, Senior Planner of Metro Planning Department, to provide update of the Belle Meade Highlands study.
Good afternoon. I'm not Harriet. Harriet is here. She's going to get up in one moment. I'm Todd Oklachaney, and I'm the newer Deputy Executive Director for the Planning Department. I started in January. I think it was my 6-month anniversary this past week, so I think I'm officially past my honeymoon period.
Congrats.
So I'm here to stay, having a really good time working with the really talented staff we have in Metro government. So the purpose of the presentation today is to provide you all with an update on the Belmead Highlands study. We were obviously here at your last meeting to kind of review, I think, at a higher level, the status of the project and some of the next steps, which include going through a process to hire a consultant to help us with a planning study for the study area. And the purpose of today's presentation is to take a more granular view at some of the scope of work for the project and some of the specific tasks that we want to achieve with the project, as well as to update you all on the stakeholder meeting that we had yesterday and some of the feedback we got from the stakeholder group, which I see some of them in the audience today, that helps to influence the scope of work for the project. So with that, just want to give a quick introduction to myself. Looking forward to working with you all. And then Harriet Brooks is here to give you the update. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me again. As Todd noted, we met yesterday with the stakeholder group and had a really dynamic discussion, and I think it proved very helpful. And so today we just wanted to give another update on the scope and the status of procuring a consultant to work on this project, and then also go into a little bit more detail about what the deliverables are. So quickly, I'm going to review the kind of background of the study and the planning principles and mobility and infrastructure concepts that have come out of the stakeholder engagement that we've had thus far. We've been meeting on and off with a group, including Cheekwood and Friends of Warner Park, Parks Department, and NDOT since February of this year. Then I'll summarize the scope of work for the consultant-led mobility study, take a look at parking study areas and outline analysis considerations, and then just go into a little bit of detail on the analysis for a potential or kind of conceptual Warner Park golf course perimeter trail. And I'll just note that the concepts presented in this presentation are completely exploratory and kind of conceptual at this point. These are kind of ideas and background information that we will share with our consultants and are just kind of to help provide a basis for them to begin their work, but they will be evaluated further as part of that study. So nothing said or presented here is set in stone in any way. As you might remember, last summer, the capital improvements budget approved $1 million for neighborhood planning and infrastructure studies, and $500,000 of that has been allocated to study mobility and urban design improvements in Belmead. This is just one kind of bucket of funding for a few particular studies. We receive allocations for funding through the capital improvements budgets for various different things that pan out in our planning studies and study amendments and those sort of things. So this is just one example of that, of many different things. But you'll see we're kind of in the middle of the timeline right now. We have had a series of meetings with stakeholder groups, Council Member Angie Henderson, Cheekwood, and representative from the Greater Nashville Regional Council, as well as several Metro departments over the past 6 or 7 months, having listening sessions and trying to understand kind of the project that is warranted here. And we, at this moment, are kind of pivoting to working on procuring a consultant to carry out a mobility and placemaking study for this area. during the stakeholder meetings that we've had, especially during our May kind of charrette working meeting, a series of planning principles began to emerge. And I went over these with you last month, so I won't go into them detail again, but just high level, expanding multimodal access and transportation demand management are really critical to the study. And we're really the catalyst for the work that we're doing here today. And then also preserving the cultural landscape and the historic landmarks, view sheds, hillsides is also incredibly important. And then along with that, and this is really kind of a subset of the overall expansion of multi-mobility and transportation demand management, is looking at how we can better provide strategic and adequate parking in the area. And these are a few of the mobility and infrastructure concepts, kind of more, pointed or particular improvements that came out of our stakeholder engagement. And many of these will also be ideas that could feed into a transportation demand management strategy for the area. So I'm thinking about providing more bike and ped infrastructure and linking it to the commercial corridor at the junction of Highway 70 and Highway 100, how to boost transit and bike share access and infrastructure, thinking about better stormwater management and some solutions for some flash flooding and other stormwater issues going along in the area. Safety improvements have been a key topic of conversation, and one which we have begun the work with NDOT on installation for speed cushions on Forest Park Drive. And then some renovations of paths, thinking about ADA accessibility and lighting going on with those safety ideas, designing a perimeter trail from Warner Park Alley to the Warner Park Golf Course, and then maybe up to the Cheekwood entrance as a way of increasing pedestrian infrastructure and helping to get maybe people off the road in an area where there's not a lot of existing pedestrian infrastructure and there's an increasing number of pedestrian conflicts with vehicles. So this was kind of the main point of today, is to just brief you on the consultant task order. So we have been spending the past month drafting up a consultant task order and working with our team to start thinking about which teams might be appropriate for that. And so within that, we have defined a scope of work that includes collaborating with Metro Nashville Planning, NDOT, Metro Parks, and stakeholder groups to conduct a comprehensive mobility and placemaking study of Belmead Highlands, guided by the planning principles and initial improvement areas, which were the previous two slides that I just outlined, and then offering recommendations for transportation demand management strategy, stormwater improvements, and urban design. We are anticipating that this work will take between 6 and 9 months, and will hopefully start in September or so, in the next 6 weeks. And so we've outlined a series of phases and anticipating that each phase will take between 2 or 3 months, with the first phase being research and analysis, looking at existing traffic conditions, looking at WeGo ridership, and trying to get a better understanding of both the mobility, traffic conditions, and demand for the entirety of Warner Park, and also Cheekwood and the Belmead Plantation and kind of the whole neighborhood. So how are these three kind of key sites affecting transportation demand, and then how is that kind of working or playing out within the neighborhood? And then phase 2 will be development and testing. So this is where the consultants will kind of take their research and analysis and develop a series of strategies and a transportation demand management plan. And we'll be asking them to test fit design improvements, lay out an urban design framework for the area, and then analyzed three sites at a minimum, I would say, for suitability for a metro use parking facility. And then the last phase is the recommendations. And so that's your typical kind of planning document that outlines a series of recommendations and then also provides a bridge into implementation by listing out implementation strategies or priority kind of task items that could move the project forward. And I'll just say from our conversation yesterday with the stakeholder meeting, there were several ideas that came out of that discussion that we're planning on incorporating into the consultant scope of work and the task order. And that includes asking them to provide cost estimates for recommendations, both kind of capital costs, but also whatever they can provide by way of kind of ongoing maintenance costs for anything that's recommended as part of the study. And then also making sure that they either have a sub-consultant on board or are able to perform in-house and in-depth environmental and kind of cultural landscape impact analysis, given how critical it is in this area to really preserve the cultural landscape and natural features of the area. And just as a last note, I want to make sure that we bring to the forefront that as in the past, these have really been kind of targeted stakeholder meetings, but as part of this consultant study, we will be having several in-person community meetings and probably virtual community meetings as well. And so making sure that we bring in the whole public and the whole community to have a dynamic engagement process and that we're able to incorporate any of their feedback as well will be a critical part of this consultant-led study. Oh, those are fuzzy. Oh, okay. And just as a background, I wanted to make sure we had a kind of clear analysis of what the study area is. This diagram on the left is kind of the overarching study area, and it's including all of Warner Park, but that's really just to make sure that we're thinking about all of the kind of transportation demand and the different entrances for Warner Park. And then the zoomed in area is showing what I would call more kind of the focus area or maybe kind of the hub of the study area, but looking at the interactions between the plantation site, Belmead Highlands neighborhood and the residents of those neighborhoods, the site for Cheekwood, and then also Percy Warner Park. And then I mentioned earlier that we have been asked to provide kind of 3 options for the consultants to study. And I will say that these are not the only, by any means, these are not the only areas that will be studied, but given the fact that we have done an amount of work so far on this, giving them a couple of options to kind of begin their work is the idea here. And wanted to outlay the consultant analysis considerations. So we'll be asking them to look at, for any parking strategy, and thinking about this as a very kind of holistic strategy, impact on the parkland and cultural landscape, alignment with recommended transportation demand management strategies, understanding of current metro plans and policies, the capability to enhance mobility and placemaking, estimated costs and negative outcomes, potential synergies among stakeholders, and the potential ability to kind of cluster programming for any parking facility with other uses. Not wanting to focus on parking, but understanding that it is one piece of a larger study. And I'm guessing that was my time. Okay, so I'll go really briefly through. We've also been looking at some analysis for a golf course perimeter trail, and we have been studying some different options, mainly in terms of grading. And the the real kind of objective for looking at this potential trail is to think about improving pedestrian access from a couple of key kind of pedestrian locations, being the Warner Park Alley, the entrance to the park there, the golf course entrance, and then up to Cheekwood. And thinking about, given the steep topography, how those trails might be laid out in a way that enables ADA access and provides kind of a gentle and pleasant kind of path or multi-use trail. So this is something we'll be continuing work on, and we'll also be asking the consultants to kind of pick up this work and move it forward. And with that, I'll close just by saying that, again, thank you for your time and allowing us to present our updates on this work. We are excited to see it moving forward as we were able to procure a consultant, and we'll definitely be back to give this group insight with that. And then just next steps, in the next 6 weeks or so, hopefully being able to procure someone and begin that process. So thank you again for your time, and happy to answer any questions if that's appropriate.
Just a minor comment. You did a great job of presenting this. Great information, great study. We talked about cost a bunch. We need to make sure our consultant highlights benefits as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of times people focus on the cost and don't understand the benefits. And so the consultant needs to make sure that they summarize that in a way that makes sense for everyone.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Any other comments? I was not here last meeting, and I've been on this board a long time and said this a lot of times. My big concern for this board has always been precedent setting, mm-hmm. because of it is a big precedent to do something like this. So we need to also have the consultant look into that as well, because it's a big move for us to do that. And, we got to make sure, first and foremost, our mission here is to protect parks, also be good neighbors. But, so when you're meeting with the stakeholders yesterday and other times, what are you hearing from the various stakeholders? Like, I didn't, you didn't really expound on that much.
Sure. Well, in terms of the I assume you're speaking specific or asking specifically in regards to the parking structure or parking, and
we need to protect parks land. Right. However, we're open to looking at things, right? And yes. We've always said that in here, but we got to be very careful because there are others that want to do this. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but we just have to be very, very careful. So I'm just curious on your stakeholders, what's the input you're getting for this?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. So you've, I think, hit right on the concern that several of our stakeholders have, which is what precedent is this setting, and how can we ensure that this project is serving the best interest of the parks and parks users? And so I think that is definitely an ongoing concern and a consideration, but we have not heard, I think, so far anything more kind of concrete than that. Just wanting to make sure that we are always, aware of that as something that's important and significant for the project, is to be thinking about the best use of the park facilities.
Well, it's just not parks here because we have Cheekwood as well, right? So are you sensing they're willing to give land to contribute as well?
I can't speak to that because we have not asked anyone to give any land. But from my understanding, Cheekwood is also interested in kind of working to continue the conversation. And seems to be an acknowledgement from all of the groups that on the weekends, especially in kind of prime season for the park and for Cheekwood, that cars parking on the roads and pedestrian conflicts and all of these things have gotten to a point where it's not safe anymore, and that something needs to be done. There needs to be a change, and that there needs to be a strategy that is kind of comprehensive and multidimensional in terms of both reducing the need for single occupancy vehicles, increasing transit and transportation options, increasing pedestrian improvements, and kind of looking at all of the different ways that we can plan for circulation in this area that provides more, increases safety and security, but also gets cars off the sides of the roads.
Right. So the consultant just really needs to be cognizant that there's a lot of moving parts here, and we really need to understand it as a park board, how it benefits us, and we're always willing to be good neighbors too. We've said that many times. So if we can figure out a way to help everybody, that's fine, but we got to be careful with that, is my point.
Yes, thank you.
Anything else? Well, thank you so much.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
All right. Our next presentation is the annual update from Friends of Fort Negley. Is anyone here for Fort Negley? You don't see anybody? Okay. We'll have them come another time. Friends of Shelby Park, annual update.
I'm here.
Hello, Rebecca.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I just got back from vacation, so I prepared this before I left, so I haven't rehearsed it since I got back. But
We'll see how rested you are. then.
we'll see. We'll see. Hi. Thank you for having me this afternoon. My name is Rebecca Rotz. I'm the executive director for the Friends of Shelby Park in Bottoms. And happy to be here today to report back. Really, this is more of an overview of 2022 and what we accomplished throughout the course of last year. Just a little bit of our background. The organization is actually celebrating our 15th anniversary this year. We were established in 2008. Our mission is to preserve, enhance, and promote Shelby Park and Shelby Bottoms for everyone to appreciate and protect. And we have a handful of strategic plan goals, including increasing community engagement and awareness about the park and really making sure that we're bringing the community in and letting them know all of the benefits that the park has to offer. Making improvements focused on infrastructure and existing assets, a handful of which you just approved earlier today. And then to preserve and improve our natural ecosystem. As you can see from this map, Shelby Park and Shelby Bottoms together is, of course, Nashville's third largest park, and 900 acres is Shelby Bottoms' natural area. So looking at that ecosystem, looking at the way the water runs through our park is really high on our priority list. So just a little overview for anyone who might be new or not visited in a little while. Of course, Shelby Park just celebrated its 111th birthday on the 4th of July. One of our older urban parks, and that's where most of the active recreation uses are within Shelby, and then Shelby Bottoms natural area with miles of paved and unpaved trails, and of course the Cornelia Fort Air Park on the north end of the park there, the old airport. This is just a little bit of an overview. We continue to have a strong board of community leaders. Our staff has grown a little bit. We now have 2 full-time and an AmeriCorps member as part of our staff. So Grant England, who was here with me last month, is our new community programs manager, and we're really excited to have him. That's his back there. It says board member, and he's leading some of our community center kids in our Nature Explorers program. So in 2002, our revenue saw an increase of about 36%, up to $368,000. Our expenses were also up, but we were definitely in the black last year with $237,000 in expenses. A lot of our revenue increase that we see is from our membership. So it's we're not a membership organization in the way that the Tennessee State Code defines it, but we are a membership organization as far as we have recurring donors who give either monthly or annually. And we've seen huge growth in this area, and people who use this park every day are really wanting to give back to the park. Some other increases, we just pivoted from the big payback to the Great Shelby Give Back. So we established our own annual giving fund, and that's actually what funded the $65,000 worth of improvements that you all approved just earlier today. Events certainly continue to bring in funds. We've seen a lot of increase in grants, individual giving, and annual partnerships. So these are our kind of 5 annual partners who support our organization year-round. On the expense side, we try and spend as much money as we can making park improvements. So last year we were able to put over $100,000 back in to the park. This is just one tiny little improvement, really, that we installed a fence around this historic structure. This was an original feature in the park and one of the last remaining that we wanted to help protect, and we'll be putting some interpretive signage on that as well here soon. We also were able, just by having staff on the ground, to receive a lot of in-kind contributions, which is really important, and added up to over $100,000 in in-kind contributions as well last year. Some of our program highlights. That's not supposed to be like that, but okay, there we go. There's everything. Oh gosh, of course. Is it going to go back for me? Let's hope it stays there. Community engagement and outreach. I briefly mentioned our Park Explorers program. We had just started this last year when we presented to you, and we were working specifically with Englewood Elementary second graders, where we visit them in school twice per semester, and then we bring them to the park for a field trip once every semester. We were able to expand that program to Warner Elementary in the spring of 2023, and to a weekly program with the community center and the after-school kids. And there, our main goal is to just get these kids outside and to show them. We started a nature journaling program. We look at bugs, we look at leaves, we talk about water, and we just introduce them to all the fun things that nature has to offer. We hosted our second annual Shelby Recreation Open House, where we invited all of the other groups that are doing work within the park, the Little League groups, the soccer, disc golf, the TWRA came out and talked about fishing, the kayak groups, and everyone had a booth at the community center. And so the community could come and learn about all of these different activities that are available to them in the park. We've started 2 new groups this year, Pedal the Park, which is a bi-weekly biking club, and then Walking Club, which is every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. and was actually attended recently by former director Tommy Lynch. And he got to tell lots of fun stories to our Walking Club group. Our Pedal the Park actually had over 50 participants come out for our intergenerational popsicles in the park. Just this past week, we host an annual ice cream social in partnership with the Nature Center. And then we've developed a park ambassador program that we're really excited about, where we have community members who are excited about the park who can help us go out into the community, whether it be at the East Nashville Farmers Market or community meetings, and talk about our volunteer program and talk about our schools program and help engage more folks where they're at. Our volunteer program has seen steady increases over the past 2 years. That's primarily thanks to having a dedicated AmeriCorps member to this program. So last year, we hosted over 1,600 volunteers working over 3,700 hours in the park. And that's everything from kind of what you see here, trash pickups to painting picnic shelters. And then we also have our Restore the Forest invasive removal program. We are only at 6.5 acres cleared, but we are really excited about the progress that we've made. We have been training crew leaders, so like our ambassadors that go out into the park and help spread the word. We have invasive removal crew leaders that we've trained who can help us then bring in, each one of them can lead 10 extra people, and we can clear more acres than we would be able to just with our own staff. We also are big on planting trees, so as we remove those invasive species, we're planting lots of mostly seedlings that we also have groups come out and water during the summer. Our events are expanding and contracting. Fridays by the River has turned out to be an enormous hit. That's a spring and fall series where we have beer. This is the kind of picnic table picture that you can see in the bottom left here. But it's just under the trees, food trucks, free admission, and it's just really fun and relaxed that we do in partnership with East Nashville Beer Works. The Colors of Shelby Art Show, we were lucky to have the Chestnut Group paint all over the park over the past year and hosted an art show where those A proceed of those paintings would go to Friends of Shelby. The Cornelia Fort Picken Party has been and continues to be a success this year. And as I let the folks at Warner know, we are officially changing our name next year for the 10th anniversary to the Cornelia Summer Concert Series. So we will be rebranding that for the 10th anniversary. And then our Shelby Race Series with the Golden Pheasant Triathlon, the Shelby 6-miler, and our Full Belly 5K, September, October, November, and the fall. So projects we've been working on in the park. Last year, we were able to complete installation of 9 brand new interpretive signs, and we're really proud of these. They replaced, some probably 20-year-old signs, updated the graphics, updated the language, and they're just beautiful, beautiful signs. The quality is really great. We were able to complete last year the rehabilitation of the Shelby Community Center basketball court as well that you see there. Going through these pictures, we replaced the golf course lightning shelter. That was a tornado damaged shelter that we helped supply repairs for. You see these fine folks standing next to this trash can. We had an amazing donor who is constantly in the park picking up trash. And he said, how can I help this problem? And he donated $5,000. We could have bought 5 metal trash cans, but instead we partnered with Make Nashville and were able to build 35 new wooden trash can enclosures. And then we worked with maintenance to figure out where are trouble spots around the park. And then maintenance was able to do the install of those. And now we have 35 new trash cans throughout the park. As I mentioned, we put the fence around the old water fountain sculpture. We planted trees across the park. And we've been working with Root Nashville so that those trees are watered throughout the season as well. The big project on our horizon is, of course, and we presented to you about this before, Shelby Naval Commons. We are so thankful to outgoing Mayor Cooper's support and the Parks Board support. The project now has $2.5 million in city funding. So that is toward an 8.6 total goal as of right now. We are, beginning next steps for design development. We'd like to go ahead and secure the building and do some strategic demo. And so we will actually be back to talk a little more about this next month when we bring a term sheet before you all to talk about the long-term agreement between Friends of Shelby and the city to get this project moving forward. But we're looking to kick off our capital campaign here toward the end of the year or the beginning of next year more publicly, although it's very public right now. So that's it for our presentation today. If you have any questions or comments, be happy to hear them.
Any questions? Great report, Rebecca. Lots going on there, and you've made amazing progress over the years. Congrats. All right. Moving on to the next special presentation, Tessa Ortiz-Marsh, Metro Department of Law, to provide ethics training for board members.
Good afternoon. My name is Tessa Ortiz-Marsh. I am a client advice attorney with Metro Legal. I am one of the assigned attorneys to the Parks Board. Right now, my supervisor, Macy, she just had her baby, in case you guys hadn't heard. So I have gracious support from another team. But I will be giving you guys your ethics presentation today. It is not going to be as fun or as exciting as all of the Friends presentations, but this presentation will help you stay on board with your ethical compliance as a board member. So the goals of this training, understand that you cannot accept benefits due to your role on the board. Understand when you may be biased or have a conflict, either direct or indirect, and you should recuse yourself from voting on a matter where you have a conflict. Disclosing any knowledge that you may have on a matter that's before the board that you received prior to the board meeting. And then making sure that you articulate particular reasons why you're voting a certain way, which this board does a great job of having robust discussion. Understanding what the Open Meeting Act is and what it prohibits you from doing, and then best practices for making informed decisions. So it is important to remember that you are in a position of public trust making decisions for public benefit. And so all 6 of these items will keep you ethically compliant. So the first one, understanding that you cannot accept benefits related to your role on the board. So Metro Code Chapter 2.222 promulgates what you can and cannot do under your ethical obligations. And so this next list of 6 items will be things that you shall not do, which means that they are completely prohibited. So you cannot accept or solicit benefits that might influence your vote or influence you to act improperly in the discharge of your official duties. And benefits are fairly broad, and I'll go into that in greater detail. You cannot use Metro property services or funds for personal purposes. And this is especially applicable to you guys as Parks Board members because, as we've seen, Parks has many different types of recreational areas, specifically golf courses, tennis courses. Something like getting a benefit to your tee time and using your member as a Parks Board, that would be prohibited. Using Metro property or services, funds for personal use. So again, trying to harken back to something applicable. You can't use your position on the Parks Board to go to the staff and get preference over reserving a pavilion for a child's birthday party, something like that. And then using non-public Metro information for personal gain or the gain of family member or employee. As we just saw from the Friends presentation, you guys are well informed of different projects that parks have going on that will usually eventually go up to some type of procurement process. You cannot use that information that you receive in your position to tip off friends, family members, or even in your own capacity in your employment for financial gain. Securing unwanted privileges, exemptions for themselves or relatives, very similar to what I just covered. Accept other employment which might impair independent judgment in the performance of their duty. Now, if you have a job, if your normal employment has a conflict once in a while with your duties here on the board, we'll go into this in greater detail as well, but you can recuse yourself from that matter. If for some reason your job, you accept new employment and that consistently puts you in conflict, that's something that needs to be brought up and could deter your seat on the board going forward. And then accept any benefit which an employee should reasonably believe was intended to influence any action taken in an employee's official capacity. So if you are, out and about with your spouse for a date night and someone comes up to you and wants to buy you a drink and wants to start talking your ear off about something that you know is an agenda item coming up on the next Parks Board, you need to have that internal, conflict buzzer that says this person is probably trying to influence what's going to happen in the next Parks Board. And so because of your position on this board, when you're out in the public eye, you have to be mindful of what another person's intention might be in their interactions with you. So there are limited exceptions to accepting gifts, and here's a list of them. So awards, public presented in recognition of public service. This might be, Director Odom might be at an event and she's given a bouquet of flowers in recognition of her service, or a plaque or a certificate acknowledging what you're doing for the general public. Obviously, gifts unrelated to your position as a Metro employee. We're not saying you can't accept Christmas gifts, which I'm sure all of your friends and families love to give those to you guys. The third one on the list, meals, beverages, foods, promotional items, or hand-produced items of a value up to $25 from a single source in a calendar year. So yes, you can have someone buy you a meal, and they can say it is for your work here on the Parks Board, but $25 in Nashville nowadays does not go very far. You are not going to be able to get a dinner downtown on Broadway or the Gulch, etc. Maybe $25 is going to get you a meet and three after this Parks Board meeting. But keep in mind that's once in a calendar year. So I tend to say pay for your own check, and that's probably the safest way to go. free or discounted admissions tickets to events from a single source of an aggregate value of a calendar year of up to $100, or tickets of a face value in excess of $100 if the event is recognized as a fundraising benefit sponsored from a nonprofit. So what all that says is that you can accept some discounted tickets. Let's say you want to go to a soccer game and you want to get $20 off. That aggregate value cannot exceed $100 for your discounted tickets. The second part is if one of the friends of groups is having a gala or something that's benefiting their nonprofit, you can accept a free ticket to that for you and one other person, most likely your spouse. But again, that has to be to benefit that nonprofit. So that's usually galas, balls, formal events. And if you all have any questions, please stop me at any time, interrupt me, and ask those questions. All right, so the Metro Board of Ethical Conduct. What happens if there is an ethics complaint lodged against you? Metro Code 2.222040 creates the Board of Ethical Conduct. And so this board accepts complaints made against a board member, commission member, council member who the complainant believes has violated the Metro Code. And so these complaints are submitted to the Board of Conduct. The Department of Law, Metro Legal, conducts investigation into it, gathers facts, etc. Metro Legal then makes a written recommendation to the board, and that recommendation says if these facts were true, that these things could have violated X, Y, and Z of the code. Metro Legal does not say unequivocally that there was an ethical violation, but that if the facts were true, there could be a violation. The board then decides whether to hold a hearing. This is basically a fact-gathering mission by the board. It's a quasi-judicial hearing. If a hearing is to be held, each side gets to put on evidence, and then the board decides if a violation occurred. If the board decides a violation occurred, there are these different measures that they can take. I'm not going to read them all to you. And they vary in severity depending on what the board determines the ethical violation was. So bias and conflict, this one comes up a lot on other boards that I advise. This board is very communicative, so thank you for that. But basically, you have a duty of independence from your personal beliefs and in your decision making on this board. So your vote cannot be based on self-interest. It cannot be based on bias in favor or against friends, family members, or groups of people. And it has to be based on the interests, and it cannot be based on the interests of the director or contracts with whom your board interacts with. So when it comes to conflicts of interest, I always say if you have to have any financial interest in the decision that this board is making, either to lose or gain financially, that more or less is an automatic conflict. The other conflicts is where it gets a little bit more tricky, that if you are voting on something for a friends of group and you have a close friend who sits on the board of that friends of group, that's when you have to make the choice of whether or not that relationship you have will make you bias in your decision in any way. So what if you do have a conflict, either financial or an indirect conflict through a relationship? Then if you're prejudiced and biased against it, or you feel like you cannot fairly or impartially make your vote, then you need to recuse yourself from that. So to recuse yourself, you would say, I have a conflict. Discuss that conflict, make it known to the public what that conflict is. We don't necessarily like you just saying I have a conflict and don't expound upon that. The general public is entitled to know why you feel you have that conflict. And then if you don't think you have a conflict, you won't gain or lose money directly. If you do have an indirect conflict through relationship, but you feel that you can be impartial, it is still important that you state, I have a relationship with XYZ. However, due to the facts presented and the evidence and the discussion, I believe that I will be impartial in my vote and I can continue as a voting member of this board on this matter. Last part is really important. If you are uncertain, please consult with staff and or Metro Legal, because as you know, and as Mr. Anderson read at the beginning, any vote by this board can be appealed. So if you're uncertain, please consult with Metro Legal. And even if you haven't consulted with Metro Legal beforehand, you can always stop the meeting and say, I may have a conflict. Can I ask legal about it? And we welcome that. So knowledge that you've received outside of the meeting or on an agenda. So if you have received knowledge on a matter that's before the board prior to the board meeting, it is important that you acknowledge that and discuss that in the full board meeting. This is in the interest of transparency to our citizens, especially if it's knowledge that would attempt to lobby you or could lobby you to sway your vote one way or another. Or if you have knowledge, let's say you're an expert in the field of whatever the subject matter being voted on, it's important to note, I have X, Y, and Z years of experience. I have came upon this issue in my personal employment, and you need to make that well known as you're discussing the vote, because in the Byron Ave case, one of the commissioners was owned property within 2 blocks of the property in question. He also had extensive history in planning and zoning. He did not disclose that to the board, and his vote actually and his discussion was very influential in the board's decision. On appeal, the court found that that was impermissible, and because that conflict was not disclosed, the vote was then sent back to the board by the courts. So there are, there can be fallout if we're not disclosing and being truthful about our ethical obligations. And articulating specific reasons for your vote and for your decision. So the criteria should always be relevant and germane to the matter at the vote, facts presented at the meeting, past specific experiences with issues, and then studies or firsthand observations. I will say Parks Board does a great job of bringing in their staff who has specific knowledge and expertise in it. You guys do a good job of bringing up similar experiences in the past and how the board voted on it and why. So continuing to do those things is a great course of actions. Unacceptable reasons. So sympathy for the applicant or people who are opposed to the proposal or opposition that is not based on relevant guidelines or law. So if you go onto the Board of Ethics website, you can see past decisions that were made by the Board of Ethics. One of them was about a commissioner who lived, not part of this board, a different board in the city, who lived in an area that had a matter pending. And that commissioner then took to social media to express her opinions about the vote. And because of that, and none of those opinions were related to actual material evidence, it was decided that commissioner's vote was biased. So making sure that when you are voting, all factors of your vote have to be related to evidence presented, whether by Parks Board staff members, whether by Director Odom, or members of the public. It can't be based on your feelings, emotions, things you see on social media, things you post on social media, or your personal feelings towards the matter. So the Open Meetings Act, board members should absolutely, and that's underlined for a reason, avoid the use of email to discuss board issues or to invite comments for other board members. So email discussion of matters germane to the board are in violation of the Open Meetings Act because that email is not accessible by members of the general public. And it doesn't matter if you're using your private email address or your Metro email address, email in general is prohibited. And so violations of the Open Meeting Act can make those decisions void, and it can actually subject the board to court supervision or sanctions. And so voting, Tennessee law disfavors abstentions. There's several reasons for it. One of them can be that it's viewed that the board member does not agree with the law and they're trying to essentially legislate from their position, which, as you know, is reserved for our senators and congressmen up the hill from us. The other reason is that an abstention is kept out of the public record, and Transparency is very important in these processes. And the third reason is that an abstention basically dilutes the eligible members of the vote. And so really it helps the affirmative vote more than the negative vote. And so a meeting under the Open Meetings Act is a meeting of two or more commissioners where they deliberate or decide matters that are germane to the public, specifically in this context, germane to the Parks Board. You must give adequate public notice for all meetings, which this board does a great job of. The staff is amazing at it. And what is notice? It is something posted in an area that's accessible to the majority of the public under the circumstances. You guys post your notices online, which is acceptable, and they must be posted 48 hours in advance. What is not a meeting? On-site inspections, chance meetings, or informal assemblages. I want to touch on chance meetings real quick. Let's say 3 of y'all are out at Shelby Golf Course at the same time, and you see each other in passing, you're just saying hi. That's not a violation of the Open Meetings Act. But if you see each other in passing on the golf course and you start to discuss what you're going to do with the new $2 million or how you're going to vote with the new $2 million that was given to the golf course, that goes beyond a chance meeting and violates the Open Meeting Act. And then attorney-client executive sessions. As your attorney, we can discuss matters in an executive session that's subject to attorney-client privilege. However, no decisions made by the commission the board at that time can be done in that private session. It then still has to go to an open meeting. Best practices for making an informed decision. I've talked about most of this, but making sure the agenda is detailed as to give the notice to the public as what is going to be discussed, and making sure that the board has relevant documents. You guys get your packets ahead of time. All of the board members do a fairly good job of reviewing any material that's given ahead of time, and then you're able to openly discuss that in the open meetings and ask pertinent questions, which are all factors to making a best informed decision. I also would like to commend the staff and Director Odom because they always have the relevant staff member who's bringing the matter before the board to answer any questions, and this board always asks pertinent material questions to the matter at hand. So best practice for board members, it is important that you understand your role in this board and what that includes. So before each meeting, reviewing the agenda. Also understanding what the Parks Department does, who the staff is, who the key organizational players are, and Director Odom, again, and her staff is very open to that, and they're always available for questions. And so I encourage you, if you do not understand a certain practice or operation of the Parks Department, that as a board member, you are more than open to asking questions and getting answers. So pending any questions from the board, I apologize. I know it's a little bit dry. It's based in code, so I can't spice it up that much.
Any questions? Thank you so much. Now we'll move on to capital projects update. Joe Stovall.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Vice Chair, members of the board, Director Odom. The planning department has been working hot and heavy since the last time we met. Bordex Gardens, the playground and the picnic shelter is scheduled for delivery on August the 6th. And we're looking to have that open to the public, hopefully in the middle of September. Centennial Park, Phase 3, the design is progressing well. The branding for the Croquet Cafe will be coming in the next couple of months for board discussion and approval. Hartman Restrooms, which is a participatory budget project. The construction bidding came back and we didn't have any bids. So I am working with the team and procurement and our consulting team to restructure the purchase through a co-op and then put the site work and connections out to bid. Mariposa, we just got the consultant design fee and proposal back last week. We are looking to meet with them the end of this week to move that forward. I'm also working with Phil Luckett, Consolidated Maintenance, and his team to get his team out there and clean that site up, sign it for the public to let them know what we're doing, and then also secure it with some fencing and some gates up front. Mill Ridge Phase 1, I'm happy to say we've planned a grand opening event for August the 16th at 9 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully everybody can make it there. And then Ravenwood Phase 1, we opened on July the 22nd at 10 a.m. And there was a fantastic turnout. I don't think we have an official number, but I think it was somewhere between 150 and 200 people. So I think it was a fantastic opening. I think it's had a great reception so far. So with that said, if there's no questions.
Any questions? Thank you so much. Moving on to Greenways and Open Space. Cindy is not here. Hello.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Vice Chair, members of the board, and Director Odom. I'm Amrita Chatterjee, Senior Project Manager with the Greenways Division, and I'll be presenting some brief updates on behalf of Cindy Harrison. For the 440 Greenway Park Plaza to the Sevier Park to Browns Creek Park, we are moving on with the final design, and we have also planned for a final public meeting on the 22nd of August. It will be held at the Sevier Park Community Center. The Metro Central Levy Greenway, Metro Water Services has offered to repave the Greenway. It is expected to start mid-August for a period of 3 weeks. The Greenway will be closed from Monday to Friday during that period. It will remain open on Saturdays and Sundays. A couple of other projects, the Charlotte Corridor Rail with Greenway. We are continuing to have conversations with the Cheatham County Rail Authority and adjacent landowners along the corridor. The other 440 Greenway project from Park Plaza to Centennial Park, the design phase is in completion phase right now. We are moving on with that. And we are also working with NDOT to have more clarity on design and finalize everything. The Harpeth River Greenway at Ariza Bellevue has been passed by the council. That is all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions, anybody? All right. Moving on to Jackie Jones with upcoming special events and activities.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to run through these very quickly. Starting tonight at 4 p.m. at most locations, we have the annual Night Out Against Crime. Those events are going to be located in Old Hickory Park, East Park, Bellevue, and Riverfront Park. The East Nashville Tomato Fest 5K is scheduled from 5 a.m. at East Park on August 12th. We have a long list of events on August 19th. Among them is the Afrobeat Music Festival at Cumberland Park from 1 to 10 p.m. We also have the Fever Candlelight Concerts at the Parthenon. They are scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. on August 4th, 11th, and 25th. We have farmers markets at Sevier and Richland Parks. And the very last big band dance is scheduled for 7 p.m. Saturday, August 26th at the Centennial Park Event Shelter. And just another reminder, we're really excited about the grand opening of Mill Ridge Park at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, August 16th. And we hope to see you there. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Jackie. Any questions? If not, we'll move on to the report of the director.
Thank you very much. I just have a few items to update you all on. Some of them will be a little redundant, but I'll be quick. The public square park repairs have started on the Founders Tower Stone. There have been some damages that have been sustained, and they've been there for a while. We're glad to get started working on those. Hartman Community Center Talent Showcase was held week before last, and it was just an overwhelming success. It was featuring some of the talent of the summer enrichment participants, and also kind of a hybrid. It included some of the senior dancers there. So it was a fantastic event. Both Jackie and Joe mentioned the successful ribbon cutting of Ravenwood Park on July 22nd. Great event there. And then the ribbon cutting of Mill Ridge Park on August 16th. We reached over 120 participants for the Power Youth Program. I told you about that earlier. We're excited to have that kind of participation in the park system and be able to kind of enrich young people in their summer employment efforts. John Michael Cassidy from our Environmental Education Division was on This is Nashville last week, and he talked about the outdoor recreation activities here in the park system. As Jackie did mention, several parks will host Night Out Against Crime events this evening, and then also throughout the park system, a number of facilities will host back-to-school bashes and backpack events. One such was last Thursday evening at Madison Regional Community Center. It was a great event, very well attended by the community. Our Cultural Arts Division will begin registration for classes later this month. And then finally, the Cleveland Community Center will reopen on August 7th. We have a new manager there, Mr. Lamont Henry. As you may recall, that was one of the locations we had an existing MOU with the Boys and Girls Club of Middle Tennessee for many years, and we are resuming operations of that facility and expanding the programming that will also include our disabilities program. That is my report. Any questions?
Any questions? Our next meeting is the day after Labor Day. How many of us will be here? I will be here. I just want to make sure we have a quorum. It's the 5th. Are we here? Okay. We'll have a quorum. So we'll stay with the original schedule of September 5th. Are there any requests for future agenda items or any open items?
No, I just have an announcement, if you would.
Sure.
So first, I want to, again, elevate and shout out the Parks Foundation Board. I was unable to make it to this past meeting, but they continue to be great connectors and advocates for parks. So thank you all for meeting and continuing to advocate at the levels that you all do. I want to reiterate what Director Odom suggested, that school starts August 8th for Metro Nashville Public Schools. We're very excited to welcome back our pre-K through 12th grade students, beginning at 7 o'clock a.m. for our bus drivers. That day begins around 4:30 or 5 o'clock a.m. So please offer grace to our educators, our young people, and our parents as we prepare for the start of school. There are a number of back-to-school bashes, including those at Napier Community Center, the Southeast Community Center, Hadley Park. A number of our parks systems have continued to work with Metro Nashville Public Schools. So thank you all. Thank you, staff, for that. Please feel free to reach out to either your school board member or the school in your area if you want to know more about how you can better support students as they prepare for that back to school transition. And as a point of privilege, my father is not a parks employee, but he was a MNPS employee, and he passed yesterday. But he was the reason that I got involved in politics. He consistently reminded me that blue collar staff are so very important when it comes to making sure that our city runs. And so I appreciate that he foster that in us, and want to remind others that, voting for our mayor and our council will happen this Thursday. If you have not already early voted, please consider voting, because what happens in those decision-making seats does certainly impact parks and other metro government agencies. And that's it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. And I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of everyone, offering our condolences. I had no idea, so I'm so sorry. And I'm sure that's very difficult. So, our thoughts and prayers. Anything else? If not, motion for adjournment.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.